You do not get respected for your muscles. You get respected for what your muscles represent, which is discipline, control, and showing that you can actually keep the promises that you make to yourself. Most men think being fit is just about abs. It's not. It's about proving that you can keep promises to yourself when nobody is watching. Every rep, every run, every early morning is not about your body. It's about the kind of man you become. In today's video, stick around. I'm going to give you an extremely clear and easy to understand process that is going to change your life. This took me 5 years to figure out, and I wish someone told me this at the very start of my journey, because I would have saved a ton of time, a ton of money, and avoided a ton of stress. Today we're going to break down how to be fit and build an aesthetic body that not only allows us to respect ourselves, but everyone around us will respect us too. The whole point of this video is, I believe everyone has had a little hunch of motivation. They keep stuck in the same cycle day after day. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and before you know it, it's been years and nothing has changed. I'm going to explain the exact cycle that you've probably gone through and why you haven't followed through and how you can follow through next time so you can become that new man that you want to be. The first part of the process is the most obvious one, which is being lost and lazy. 99% of men out there are lost, distracted, and lazy, chasing fake dopamine highs, constantly scrolling, watching porn, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, all of these things that lead to escaping and stopping themselves from being the man that they want to be. The very first thing to do is to admit that you are lost and lazy. There are too many men out there that are ego defensive and say, oh, that's not me, I train 2 or 3 times a week. Or that's not me, I only drink with my friends on the weekends. It's a load of bullshit. I've been in that cycle before, and you are completely lost and lazy. I was also someone that used to train 3 to 4 times per week, and I drank on the weekends, but I was still lost, lazy, and distracted. It wasn't until I actually admitted to myself that I'm completely lost. There's people around me doing far better than I am, so I need to get my shit together. Now, when you're in this lost and lazy stage, you will get a hunch of motivation, and it might actually happen several times during your weeks. The reason being is social media is slapping us in the face with motivation left, right, and center. You might catch Instagram reels, TikTok reels, or even this video, for instance, that might give you a spike of motivation. Motivation does not win. Discipline wins. And this is the biggest secret, and this is where most men fail. If you can understand what I'm about to say to you, it is going to slingshot you so much further than most men. Here's what I want you to do. Next time you feel a hunch of motivation, whether it's from this video, an Instagram video, or a TikTok video, I want you to stop right there and write one promise that you're going to keep to yourself the next day, and you're going to stick to it. It could be simply going outside for a 10-minute walk. It could be swapping junk food for fruit. Start small with one promise, because this is how you're going to form proper discipline and going to form the real trust with yourself. Understand this, 99% of men are lost and lazy. They get motivation and then they do nothing about it, and they go back to being lost and lazy. Majority of men cannot break through this second step, and it's actually quite sad. However, if you know that you're someone that's constantly being stuck in that cycle, you get motivated, make promises to yourself, do nothing about it, then what I'm about to say to you is going to help change your life drastically. The reason that I want you to just make one promise and not 5 or 10 is because the secret is to start small. Stack one habit at a time. When I started out, I tried to change too many things at once, and I kept relapsing, and I kept being distracted, going out on weekends partying, completely lost, completely anxious. I was an absolute mess. Until I started focusing on one thing at a time, forming one habit at a time, everything started drastically changing. For me, it was the gym and just doing 40 minutes of exercise per day, 5 days a week, week after week. The reason that I did 40 minutes is because I knew it was easy to achieve 40 minutes. Every time I said I was going to train for an hour and a half, I wanted to be out there way earlier. My sessions were weak, and I just was not training consistently, which was the key to get that aesthetic body that I wanted. So my promise to you is, if you start small by stacking one habit towards your health, it is going to put you in the direction of being shredded before you know it. It took me 4 years to try and get shredded when I kept relapsing, and I just never knew how to get rid of my belly, and I just thought that I just never could ever get abs. Friends around me had abs, and I just thought that I just wasn't born with abs, or I just couldn't never get there. It just seemed so far out of my imagination. However, after 4 years of failing, once I put this system in place, within 6 months I was shredded and I had a six-pack. So what you want to do, next time you've got that motivation, stack that one habit for the following day towards your health. Only focus on that one habit just for a week, whether it's walking 10 minutes a day, going to the gym for 30 minutes a day. Do something that's really, really small that you know that is really, really easy to do and you are actually going to stick to it. Because the reality here is it's much bigger than just the walk or just the gym session. You're actually starting to build trust with yourself for once in your life, which will give you natural confidence, and you'll start to be able to form discipline around every area in your life and become unstoppable. When you're building discipline, you'll understand that you're transitioning into a new identity. And this is when you want to start to identify yourself as an athlete or a fit person. Because when you're up here, you identify as someone that's a loser, that's stuck, that's lost, and yeah, you don't do anything about it. Your identity and your self-image are extremely powerful. The things that you say to yourself that you identify with have a much bigger impact on you than you actually think. So when you're starting to form these small habits, identify yourself as a fit person. Say, no, I'm going to walk 10 minutes per day because I'm a fit person and that's what fit people do. No, I'm going to go to the gym for 30 minutes per day because I'm a bodybuilder and that's what bodybuilders do. Start to cultivate this new identity and start to incorporate it on those new habits that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Do that enough times. After 30 days, 60 days, you will have completely formed a new identity and you'll start to become that version of yourself that you've been dreaming about for so long. This is how it all works, by small steps, repetition, day after day, stacking small, eventually getting bigger, and before we know it, we've made a complete transformation. When you have that new identity and you've gone to the gym 5 times a week and you've done that for a month in a row, you will start to feel 50,000 times better compared to when you first started. Before you know it, there will be a switch. It's like when you first start, it becomes really, really hard. There's lots of resistance and you want to just avoid it and not do anything. Once you form that discipline after a month, you will start to feel so good about going that it will be so hard for you to go back to your old ways. And that's when you'll develop that new identity. Now, here's the key to being shredded. Don't expect to get shredded overnight. Understand that it's going to take time as long as you've got the discipline in place. One big thing that really helped me with getting shredded was intermittent fasting, eating within an 8-hour gap and spending 16 hours fasted. So at 10 a.m. I had my first meal, 2 p.m. I had lunch, and 6 p.m. I had dinner. This improved my sleep quality majorly and allowed me to get that physique that I had always dreamed of. When you can stick to this process and start to form these habits around health, you are going to transform way quicker than expected. The whole point of this is just to start small so you can start building that trust with yourself. Now, after a month, you're going to probably notice a drastic change in your physique. And it's going to be easier to just keep going because you've now built that momentum. Within about 3 to 6 months, depending on what body fat percentage you're at, you will now become shredded. And when you become shredded, you become the person that everybody respects. And this feels absolutely amazing. You walk into any room and every man respects you and the woman admire you because you look after yourself. I remember I used to walk into so many places extremely overweight and just ashamed, insecure, socially anxious, and just try to avoid people at all costs. Once you've got your health together and you are fit, everything will change around you. People will start treating you completely different. But I will tell you, the number one and the best thing to all of this is that you build confidence with yourself. You can wake up in the morning and you can stare at yourself in the mirror and you can trust that whatever you say that you're going to do that day, you're going to do it. Nothing will top that. No woman will top that. The amount of men that respect you will not top that. The trust that you can have with yourself that when you say you're going to do something and you know that you're going to do it and you're always going to back yourself will be the top of any reward you could ever imagine. Now, when you become the man that everybody respects and all the women admire, you will never go back this cycle unless something extremely chaotic happens. Here's the beautiful part about it. The hardest part is starting. But once you get to here, you will never ever go back here. 99% of men stay here. So I've got a question for you. Do you want to stay here and be lost and lazy and that man that nobody respects and women don't even look at? Or even your partner's starting to lose attraction towards you? Or do you want to be the man that constantly feels attractive towards women? Or your girlfriend is way more attracted to you than she ever was before and all the men in the room respect you? because it all starts with a decision. You can make the decision to stay lost and lazy, or you can make the decision to become this man. The best part about it is when you become this man, you will never go back to being lost and lazy. If you do not trust yourself and think that you could go through this cycle and become this man, then simply hit the link below, book a call with me, and I'll definitely be able to help you. It is extremely difficult to win alone. In my community, it's a brotherhood. We all back each other, hold each other accountable to get rid of these destructive habits and become the man that we desire to be. If that's you and you're ready for a change, hit the link below and I'll speak to you soon.